It's not just tactics or moving players. Liverpool's new game plan is going to be a problem.
Here goes Salah for Liverpool. There goes Mohamed Salah. And across the face of goal, Diogo Jota. Liverpool score.
Unless you're a Liverpool fan, it's an exciting and attractive brand of football Arne Slot is displaying at Liverpool. But the question is, when it gets down to it, just what exactly is Arne Slot's tactical approach? And how has it transformed this Liverpool team? They're playing like a team on a mission now, and it's all down to the tactical setup from Slot. Call it slot ball. In a nutshell, you could call it controlled and composed, but it's a lot more than just that. So what is slot ball then? Well, it revolves around passing to create opportunities and inroads into opposition turf. The aim is to keep the ball and make the opposing team chase after it, and in that process take advantage of the spaces they've left behind. It also emphasises quick passing and player movements, and there are ideologies of the famous total football system from Johan Cruyff in there as well, in that players can interchange roles and in defensive positions cover for each other. That's the basics. Slot ball. Has it worked for Liverpool this season? By far, yes. Arne Slot and his current Liverpool team became the first Liverpool side to win 12 out of their opening 14 games in a season. That's how incredible they've been. They've only dropped points against Nottingham Forest and Arsenal, and in that 14-game span have picked up maximum points against the likes of Manchester United, Chelsea, Brighton twice, AC Milan and RB Leipzig. Honestly, the best part of slot ball is the ability of the team to adapt to any situation and the opponents on the field.
If they buy in, which is, I believe they do, but why they do is that the differences are not that big, so there are only small differences between Jurgen and me, and the general idea of how we want to play football is, I think, quite similar.
As he said, the difference between his style and former Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp's style aren't that many. And what's more, it's been easy to adapt. It can be controlled and crazy at the same time, like we've seen during the Premier League game versus Brighton at Anfield. Liverpool made no real major signings in Slot's first transfer window as first-team manager. What this means is that he's had to work with what Klopp left, bar the acquisition of Federico Chiesa from Juventus, who has hardly kicked a ball since his arrival. It's the same squad from the 2023-24 season, but knowing that there isn't much difference between Slot and the former Liverpool boss, it means the players know the basic idea of what slot ball is, but it's the little differences that make it unique. To be fair to him, there probably wasn't even the need for a major overhaul anyway. In specific positions, Liverpool have some of the best players, not just in the Premier League, but in the world as well. You'll find out who soon enough, but this video could do with a like, and you subscribing to Matchday 365 too. Goalkeeper Alisson Becker is right up there with the best there is. In defence, Virgil van Dijk has been one of the world's best, and there's not much better than Trent Alexander-Arnold. As a defensive unit, Liverpool looks solid. The midfield underwent a revamp last season, but in attack, to be honest, I wouldn't change that. Mohamed Salah, arguably the most consistent right wing behind Lionel Messi for the last 4 to 5 years. Players like Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota, Cody Gakpo and Darwin Núñez. Truth is, that's a real good squad, and it was simply just a case of managing the team and getting the best out of them. So when it gets down to it, the tactics are key, and the way Slot sets the team up is brilliant. Liverpool line up in what we can refer to as a 4-2-3-1 setup. The back four tries to stay as compact as possible, and that's because they want to have as many options when trying to play out from the back as opposed to just going long and risking possession. At the base of midfield, they have two technical players acting as a double pivot, which are usually Alexis McAllister and Ryan Gravenberch this season. Slot wants his base midfielders to not only have the technical ability on the ball and in terms of progressing with it and ball carries, but he also wants them to be just as strong in the tackle. For example, amongst Liverpool players this season, Alexis McAllister leads the way with 12, the most balls carried in the team this season. Ryan Gravenberch's total of 450 successful passes out of 506 attempts this season ranks him in the 93rd percentile for the most passes completed in the league this season. Going forward, Dominik Szoboszlai has a special role in the team as well. In what can be termed as Zone 14, the zone that Arne Slot believes is the most crucial to the team, Dominik Szoboszlai acts as the creative force, or the player in the hole behind the striker. He joins the press, receives the ball from midfield and looks to slip in the final pass, find the wingers out wide or thread it down the middle. Down the wings, the threat is obvious, but stopping it so far has been brutal. I'll get to Mohamed Salah soon, but first, down the left wing, Luis Diaz has transformed into the type of winger who exudes what slot ball is all about. He's added an end product to his game too. Down the wing, Arne Slot wants his wingers to not just stay wide, but also know when to come in. A dual role he trusts them to have the ability to alternate between. When they aim to expand the play, Diaz will stay wide to draw the fullback or covering player to himself, which allows either a forward run from midfield or gives the chance to take on his man. And when the attack is compact and narrow, he'll come inside to act as an auxiliary number 10 to turn the neat, intricate play into goal-scoring chances. Hang on a bit, just in case you haven't subscribed to Matchday 365 yet, smash that button down below and don't forget to give the video a like as well. Luis Diaz has vastly improved under Slot this season. He's scoring goals, as we saw in the game versus Manchester United and Brentford. He's also the player with the confidence to take on players, exactly what Slot demanded from him. Down the right, it's a player that honestly needs no introduction. Everyone knows what Mohamed Salah is about, but this season under Arne Slot, it's as if he's gotten even better. Salah has been Liverpool's main goal threat ever since he came to the club in 2018. And this season, that ain't changed. He's still the one banging the goals for the Reds. The difference is that Salah, just like the rest of the team, is adapting to the controlled style of football Slot wants.
I think we play kind of different football now. The manager now wants to control the ball all the time. With Jurgen, sometimes we just go counter press and just try to attack them all the time in their half. But here we need to control the game. Sometimes we slow the game down, but it's part of the plan. And yeah, that's a big difference.
As he said, it's no more the fast-paced, heavy-hitting football they'd gotten used to under Klopp. This is about neat, clever plays to make sure they're able to strike effectively, and it's working for him. Salah looks fitter and sharper now. He's combining goals and assists with tracking back and helping down the wings. He's the complete winger, and in the game at the moment, there isn't a right winger in the world who is better than him. In attack, the one up top has been rotated largely between Diogo Jota and Darwin Núñez, both players with different characteristics who again largely fit into the setup. The 4-2-3-1 shape has been working so far for Liverpool, as evidenced by the results they pulled off this season. One thing that's important to note about Arne Slot and his game plan, which has also been on display this season, is just how much it improves players. We saw it at Feyenoord. Players like Santiago Jimenez and Orkun Kökçü all became established in the league thanks in part to how they performed under Slot. And this season, we're seeing it with a couple of Liverpool players as well. We've already touched on Luis Diaz and just how well he's performed this season. But there's another Liverpool player who has equally been as impressive too. If the current campaign was to end right now, there'd be a strong shout for Ryan Gravenberch to get voted not just as Liverpool's Player of the Season, but even the Premier League Player of the Season as well. Liverpool's Player of the Month for September has been shining under Arne Slot. He's a solution to a problem the club lacked. In the summer, they were in for extra midfield cover, and as a result, spent the large part of it chasing after Real Sociedad's Martin Zubimendi. In the end, they lost, but it proved to be a blessing, because instead, Ryan Gravenberch has now been deployed in that position as a number 6, and his performances have been outstanding. Everyone at Liverpool and the coaches he's worked with know about Curtis Jones's talent, but as the player himself said, working with Arne Slot is bringing out a side of the game he probably didn't know was there. In the game against Chelsea, Curtis Jones was voted as the man of the match, an award he really deserved thanks to how well he played. When it comes to in-game tactics, Arne Slot's Liverpool team has now become well versed in managing situations. Kostas Tsimikas seems to be thriving in this more controlled style and has contributed to the team a lot more this season already. For example, in the 3-0 win versus Manchester United at Old Trafford, it was controlled football from the start to finish. Slot expertly broke down how he managed to get past Manchester United and the then manager Erik ten Hag from a tactical standpoint. Then you liken this to the game versus Chelsea at Anfield. Yeah, the Reds won 2-1, but they were largely outplayed. In both games, however, they got the result, and that's another plus with Arne Slot and his tactics. It now means Liverpool's become a team that knows how to manage in-game situations. They dominated against United, but had to dig deep and hang in against Chelsea. They played controlled and expansive football against Bournemouth, but had to be wary of threats in one-goal wins against Crystal Palace and Wolves. This is a hallmark of a team that knows how to win games. Even when they're not at their best, they still manage to find results. Still, watching Liverpool in game, the way they play has a slight tweak that's working to perfection. Usually under Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool used to go all out in attack, and this meant that when pressing, they went full on with risks and the threat of getting exposed on the counter. With Arne Slot, however, everything is done with a system. The pressing, for instance, is on phases in which the attack starts to make sure they're not exposed, limits the threat of opposition breaks. They're more compact and narrower. Pressing has always been a feature of Liverpool's team over the years, and Slot has retained that. He's just modified it in a way that better suits the team. On his part, Arne Slot stays focused. Judge us in November. The reason why he said that was because Slot knows even though the results are good now, his team cannot get carried away. There are still tougher games coming up against the likes of Manchester City and Real Madrid. Whatever the outcome though, if you're a Liverpool fan and support the club, it's an exciting period. Arne Slot is a blend of the old and new, similar tactics but in the form of a different approach. It's the same players, but they are playing under a new system, and the results are coming in to match the way they've been playing as well. It's all coming together nicely. The game plan is to win, and Arne Slot and his team are going about it the best way possible. Can Arne Slot maintain this near-perfect start deep into the season? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Matchday 365 for more content like this. See you next time.